Welcome to St. Petersburg Together. I'm your host, Janice Ford. Charter schools are a newer option for students in St. Petersburg. One downtown area school is trying to reinvent itself. Imagine School Middle Schools. Carolyn Wilson is here to tell us about the change to the charter school. Also joining her is instructional coach Darren Everidge and 7th grade Imagine student Ashley Butler. Thank you for joining us. We'll start with you, Carolyn. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the history of the Imagine School?
Well, Imagine School started in 2008. They initiated their charter, and it started with the elementary school, and that was VBK through 5th grade. Mm-hmm. And of course, in 2009, they added the first class of middle school, which was 6th grade. And so this past year, Imagine, because we did not perform efficiently on our FCAT, then the school board voted to close the elementary. So now we are reinventing ourselves for the middle school, 6th through 8th grade. And we are looking forward to a very productive year. And with the emphasis on standard-based education, and also moving towards a focus on academic excellence. Academic excellence is one of our primary foci that we are focusing on, and I think that with the implementation of Common Core that Darren will speak on later, we can see how all of that becomes a part of the students moving to proficiency in our environment.
Okay, Carolyn, who can attend the school?
The students, well, this is an open public charter, so students 6th through 8th grade are welcome to enroll in our school. We are aspiring to attract those students that really have a desire to be more academically focused, and so those are the students that we are trying to attract, but it's open.
Okay, so it's open, but there are charter schools that are private, right? Or
yes,
okay,
yes.
so they only take certain.
Yes,
okay.
Right.
What makes this school different? Darren, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I believe one of the things that makes our school unique is the smallness of our school. We have the opportunity to get to know our students on a name basis instead of a number basis, and we can gear our learning to the individual basis. A lot of times larger schools are driven by what it is told to be taught, and we can differentiate our instruction to the individual students' learning gains.
Okay. I'll start with you, Carolyn. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your background and how you got to become principal at the school?
Well, I am a retired Pinellas County School educator.
So you've come out of retirement.
Yes, I retired in 2008 from Pinellas County Schools. I was an administrator at Clearwater High. Okay. My background, I have a degree in chemistry and biology, so I initiated my career in Pinellas County Schools at Clearwater High School in 1971, and then progressed in the system and became an administrator of Bogosiega, Lakewood High School, Clearwater High, and of course I was at Pinellas Park for a period of time after the shooting that occurred there years ago. So after I guess a hiatus of rest. Then,
much needed,
yes, after 36 years, I was invited to become a member of the Imagine Board of Directors. And of course, not really fully understanding about charters. I asked if I could really get an overview of what the school was really focusing on. And of course, the day that I visited was the day that the former principal presented her letter of resignation. So
kinda
then,
walked into that one,
yes,
right?
I kind of walked into that, not really knowing why I was there, but you know, fate has its purpose for all of us,
That's very true.
and I think that this is my purpose. I enjoy education. I enjoy being with the children and helping them to become the best that they can be. That has always been my philosophy, and so here I am at Imagine Schools after 11 months.
Well, I would think that you have to love what you do, that you've been
Yes.
doing it for 36 years.
I
so.
do.
Darren, you tell us about your background.
I started at an early age. My aunt is an educator, kindergarten educator for 30 years. There's several educators in my family, so I knew at a young age that I wanted to be an educator. After that, I continued on to Auburn University, where I had an agreement with my family because I knew I wanted to do theater as well. And the agreement with my family was that I had to get a quote-unquote paying degree to start with. So
Isn't it always that way?
exactly. So I went into education, and I started out in special education. And after starting doing some student teaching, I realized that was not the avenue I wanted to take, so I changed over to general education and finished up my education in 2001 with Auburn University, enrolled into my theater degree, and went back to back and got 2 BSs from them. Started working with Auburn University, changed over to full-time from a student employee, and I was with Auburn University for 9 years, where I also accommodated students with disabilities at the college level, and typed Braille and did test proctoring, and also led students around who was visually impaired to learn their routes to their schools and get them acclimated with the campus. And after leaving there, I went to a professional theater and decided after a year of doing costume design with a professional theater that I had to believe in my parents and get a paying job. Even though I love theater, it was barely paying the bills.
I was just going to say, it wasn't paying the bills.
It
so.
wasn't paying the bills, and so my parents were right, and so I went into education with my education degree, and I got hired in Montgomery, Alabama, in inner city school, and got quickly acclimated with an inner city school and how it functioned, and the mentality of students that needed me there. And which was very different from the students I was used to, because I did my student teaching at Auburn University, and it was professor kids who I felt like I wasn't impacting severely. And when I went to Montgomery, I saw that spark in the kids' eyes. I had students come into me not holding, knowing how to hold a pencil or scissors, or could not read, could not write. And by the time they left my classroom, I could honestly say they were reading on level. And I knew, and I had parents, you know, that would tell me when my next child comes up, they want me, them to be in my classroom. So I knew that was my calling.
Oh,
so I was in Montgomery for 3 years. Then I transferred to Birmingham, Alabama, where I got moved into a reading interventionist position. So I would pull students in small groups and work with them to get them back on their level, because most of them were under-leveled at their reading proficiency. And I was offered a full-time position with Birmingham Schools, and I declined that because I knew I wanted to be in Florida by the beach. I did not know where, did not have a game plan. I put everything I owned in a U-Haul. No house, no family, no job, and came to, opened up the map, pointed to St. Petersburg, and here I am. Within a week, I stayed in a hotel for a week, and within a week, I got a job, a house, and here I am.
Wow. Well, I guess we're lucky to have them.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
Yes.
That's how I mean, that's how I know I was here, because it was meant to be. And
All right, tell me a little bit about, are the teachers certified, or will they be certified, and are the kids tested at the school?
They are. All of our teachers are highly qualified teachers, and they are subject matter certification. We made sure that all of our teachers were certified in field. We have two that are not in field, but they're in the process of working for their certification. They still hold a teaching certificate with the state of Florida, but they can teach out of field for 1 year.
When you say out of field, it means out of their area of expertise?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. For instance, we have a reading teacher who is LA, Language Arts endorsed, but she's not reading endorsed, but she's teaching our reading program. But with Common Core, it goes hand in hand, so it spills over to the reading aspect of it. So that technically she's out of field, but she knows her material and is highly qualified as a teacher. And then also testing is done throughout the year. The big one is at the end of the year, which is our FCAT, which is a state mandated testing.
Yes, we know about
And we all know about FCAT.
Yes, we do.
We
Heard
know
enough about it.
that's how we get our school grades, and
Right.
that's how everybody's graded. We also do SAT 10 that we just finished up. Ashley just got through finishing up taking her SAT 10 testing. And then we do FAIR testing, which is done 3 times throughout the year. And then we do common assessments throughout the year, and that's how we judge the kids to make sure that they're moving in the right direction and track their learning gains.
All right. Carolyn, tell us a little bit about Title I and whether or not Imagine School is a designated site.
Yes, Imagine School is a designated Title I school. We have about 90% of our students that are free and reduced lunch. And that is how you are designed or programmed as a Title I school. And that affords us an opportunity to enhance some aspects of our program. For example, this summer, because we were getting a new staff basically, it was appropriate for us to start our year in training early. And so July the 8th, that is when we brought all of our staff together to start planning for the year. And so that money I could use from Title I to really provide professional development for the staff that we now have, as well as providing instructional resources for our students. Our students require enrichment activities. So if then we would want to expose them to one of the theatrical productions, then I will have the opportunity to provide that experience for the students, as well as improving instruction materials for science. In our environment, we don't really have a per se science lab, but then I can create that by utilizing Title I funds. So, and also parent involvement, the workshops that I provide for our parents. Sometimes parents might not have an opportunity to get a babysitter, let's say, and then they would like to come to our meeting. I can hire someone to come and sit with the children
And
while
the
they,
Title I
yes,
funds allow you to
yeah,
do that.
they
Well, that's
allow me to do that. So that enhances my parent involvement as well.
Now, you mentioned new staff. What percentage of your staff now is new? All?
Well, not all. I would say about 50% of our staff are higher or new. We felt that it would be beneficial for us to look at new individuals that were more committed to our vision of focusing on high academic achievement for our students. And so the staff that Ms. Everidge was diligently involved in interviewing, they are a very committed group. And so,
That's good.
yes.
Well, so Ashley, let's get you in on this. How has the Imagine School impacted you?
Well, it has really impacted on how I can see my personality and all my characteristics because as a child my age, there are a lot of things going on in my life.
Yes, they are.
And with the academic excellence that they have at this school, it's very nice to see that they go at a certain level that keeps you leveled, but it also pushes you forward to do great things. So it's very refreshing to know that this school can be a nice school for me to go to be not only pushed, but very excelled. So it's very nice.
So this is your first year.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is the first year for middle school, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this
Yes.
is all turning
Yes, it's
now.
turning
Okay.
around. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Not the first year for middle school.
No,
Okay,
it's not the first year for
Right.
middle
It's
school.
the first year that we're completely middle school.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All right, because you were a
Completely.
mixture.
Right.
before.
We were a
I
mixture
see.
before.
We were
Okay.
housed
Right.
two charters. We had an
Yes.
elementary charter and a middle school charter. And this year we're completely middle school, 6th,
Right.
7th, and 8th.
So you think that being completely middle school, your focus is on just that level, and that's going to help you and your teachers improve?
Well, according to my conversation with the students, they see this as an advantage. They feel as though the environmental setting now is more focused on them. Okay. And they see that basically the environment loans itself to more enhancement. Okay, so I would say yes, this has been a good transition.
And speaking about the philosophies of your school, what are your 6 measures of excellence?
The 6 measures that we focus on are academic growth and character development. There are 6, but those are the top 2. And if you would come into the school, we did a lot of transformation aesthetically for our student environment or the learning environment, and you would see that academic growth and character development are our top 2 priorities. Because our focus is on the child being able to move into their middle school or higher and be focused on being well prepared for college readiness or career. Okay, so, and then we are focusing on leadership. Okay, we want our students to be successful leaders. Now, as well as shared values, we feel as though the shared values focus on us being able to see all of us as individuals, being just in everything that we do, okay, because all of us come with different needs, and so justice is part of our shared values, as well as integrity. So everything that you do, remember that you're doing it for the betterment of the good, okay, and then fun. You got to have fun in what you're doing.
You take that out of everything.
Yeah, you got to have fun. And so really fun is focused on really getting an enjoyment too out of what are you doing. Like me, I enjoy what I'm doing, so I'm
have
having
to, lady.
fun. Yes, I'm
Coming back out of retirement to
yes,
do
I'm
this.
having fun.
Good,
And even
good.
though it presents challenges, it is fun for me.
Life is a challenge.
Yes, and also then we have our character development, and we have 6 pillars by which we focus on to assist our children in developing character. And they are responsibility. Responsibility is our character for the month, and we have activities related to that. Respect, caring, fairness, citizenship, and which one did I miss? Yeah, there are 6 of them, I think. And then we focus on school development. School development is looking at our program. What do we need to change, improve to make our students more proficient? And this year, our curriculum, we added Spanish. So Spanish is a new part of our development for school. Economic sustainability is another one, and parent choice. Our parents select our school because they feel that this is the best environment for them. So those are the 6 measures by which we focus.
So imagine it's kind of like going through reinventing themselves.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So you're made a lot of changes, and hopefully we can get past that F grade.
Yes,
and,
yes. We are not focusing on that,
Right.
the past. We are looking
Forward
forward
to the
for more proficient.
Well, it looks like you're on a very good start with
Well, thank
new
you. Thank
teachers
you.
and what have you. And we
Thank
can
you.
certainly hope that will continue to go that way. So, Ashley, I'm going to come back to you. We're not going to leave you out of this conversation. Why did your parents decide to enroll you at Imagine School?
Well, my mother had heard some good things about when, like, she heard good things about that certain school, like Imagine Charter School, from relatives of mine. So she thought that it would be a good idea for me to go there because they focus on academic excellence, and that's what I needed in my life in order to push me forward and do great things when I grow up. So, and she can already see that it's kind of changing who I am as a person. It's making me more of a young lady as before I was, actually. So it's she chose that for me because she saw that would be a good school for me.
And so far, it's been a good fit for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Carolyn, tell me what the coinage new and improved Imagine School. I mean, we've gone through some of the things, the changes that you've made. You want to expand a little bit more on that?
Yes, I think that basically we are more focused on really high student achievement and also parent involvement. This year we are attempting to implement our parent involvement center. And of course, what we have observed is that even though we are focusing on the student, which is our main focus, there are needs that our parents have as well. And so what we are trying to do is to develop a resource or become a resource network also for our parents. So then they will be able to really assist us better in helping the children that are coming to us.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Are you saying assist their needs that the parents have? And we all know that there's been a lot of issues as far as parent participation in school and really contributing to the school. But do you think that some of the parents that you deal with, their children are also lacking in some educational skills and what have you? And do how does that work? Is that something that you have addressed?
Yeah, well, that is something that we would like to focus on. We did a survey, even though some of our parents are educated, there are some parents that still are desirous of improving their skills so then they will be able to better effectively help the students at home.
Right.
Because we do give a lot of homework.
Yes.
And then the parents are saying, well, I don't know how to do this. And we require a lot of reading. And so we felt as though, okay, if we can now align ourselves to provide opportunities for parents to enhance themselves as well, then that will help our children. So we are really looking for partners that we can kind of format our parent academy. So then, like on Saturday mornings, if the parent want to come in and take classes for GED, then we will have that availability. We now have in our resource center computers. So then if parents even want to come in to school during the course of the day, then they can go in that center and work.
Okay.
So, yes.
We only have a few more minutes, but let's, Darren, talk a little bit about Common Core and being implemented into the school, and do you think that this is the right way for the state of Florida?
Common Core is hitting the state of Florida, as we know it. It's rolling out and is very controversial right now. The elementary has been involved in it in the past 2 years, and the K2, and that's why I was chosen to move into this new role as academic coach. And so the way I can describe it best is hands-on, old school teaching strategies, project-based, where the kids have a rigorous information and they are taking projects and getting out of the textbooks and making it in real life situations and relating it to what they deal with on a daily basis. And that's how I think the students that we serve at Imagine is really going to improve their education, because that they are going to be able to relate it to a real life situation and see how, because a lot of times that's what the kids question is, how is this going to help me? What is this going to do for me? And with Common Core, you can actually parallel it with what they deal with on a daily basis. And you can have a math problem that they can work on. It could have different skill-based levels that they can work on it all week long and do different skills and learn different skills within that. And with me being able to have more center-based projects from an elementary base, middle school was not used to that kind of learning. And so we feel like, and we noticed that from elementary to middle school, there was this disconnect per se, and then it picked back up in high school and college. And so they feel like that the Common Core is going to alleviate that disconnectedness of it.
All right, well, I'm going to end the show with Ashley and ask her a question. If there was one thing that you could tell someone about Imagine School, what would it be and why?
I would say that it would be a good school for a kid like me to come to, because what they focus on, as I said before, academic excellence, and that can really change your life later on. And you could become great things, do anything you want to be, as long as it's along those guidelines. So it's a very nice school.
Well, thank you, and I wish you all the success in attaining
you.
all of your goals. Thank you for joining us, and here is the contact information for the Imagine School at St. Petersburg. I'm Janice Ford, your host, and I thank you, and see you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.